This is the Ruckus and The Menace Sports Podcast.
Oh no! We suck again!
I'm getting confused. What game are you calling?
I'm calling both games.
It is caught by Kelsey! Touchdown! Kansas City!
Anthony for three. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ruckus and The Menace Sports Podcast. I am Ruckus, always causing a ruckus.
And I'm Ruckus and The Menace.
Yeah, we know. And I'm sorry, that was mean. And tonight, or whenever you catch our awesome podcast, this is episode 63 of Ruckus and The Menace, and today we are going to be talking about our starting lineup, which has a plethora of sports news for NFL, Wimbledon, and other soccer stuff, and X Games coming up. Then we have the High Heat, which is our MLB trade deadline buzz, where we overhype or overtalk about things that have been overtalked about. And then the color commentary, where we talk about our hot topics, just general stuff in sports. And then our prime time, where we recap what previously happened. And then also go into this week's prime time, which is Immaculate Grid.
And along with our regular segments of the good, the bad, and the ugly, our Eastwood segment, and Stud and Dud, we will get right into the episode. Excuse me. All right. You can pick up where you left off now. You just skipped a couple of things.
you just cut me off. I was going to say that, but anyways, that's okay.
I just went right for it.
I'll remember that. This past week, so near the end of the week, is when things kind of took a turn for the worst. So, for viewers or listeners that don't live in the Kansas City, Missouri area, there was a big storm in the KC metro area that had wind gusts of about 70 miles per hour, and the rain came in like walls of like water. Like, the wind was that bad to where it was not only causing trees to fall and like limbs to break and stuff like that, but power was out and is still out for some people in the area. But I was without power from 4 p.m. till about Saturday at 9 p.m. So I was without power, and I was not able to contact Spenis, and also my sim was being weird on my phone, so I had to get that changed out, and now things seem to be doing okay now. But yeah, on the brighter side of this, I watched the new sports behind the scenes show Quarterback, which was really good. I watched it all the way through, and then I played some more Starship Troopers Extermination after the big power outage from the intense storm. Starship Troopers Extermination was a lot of fun with friends, and it's definitely just a lot of fun just to interact with random people when it's a 16-player co-op experience. And I love it. I still play Battlefield and OB the show, but I've been more so playing Battlefield just whenever the challenges roll out. So I have been doing that, and then Starship Troopers, and I've been thinking about getting back into Resident Evil 3 and The Last of Us, because I've been neglecting to do that. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Spenis, how have you been?
Alright, while Ruckus was in the middle of a derecho, we have been in the middle of just enjoying a anticlimactic weekend of really not much going on. I mean, mostly just time with the wife over the week, time with my wife over the weekend, and just kind of staying and doing a few things. I hit the road later on this week, going into Morgantown. So I will be back where I was just about 8 months ago
When
because
you when you attended the West Virginia Oklahoma
Yep, where the hotel I'll be staying at is practically right near Millen Puskar Stadium.
Country Road.
Yep, and the last time I was there, I was rooting against Ruckus's Boomer Sooner.
Actually, I'm like the fan that's just like kind of like congealed into my parents' alumni school, but I still love the Sooners. But yeah, Boomer Sooner.
Yep, but I have been playing the base game of Street Fighter 6. Been messing around with the World Tour mode there. That has been quite fun. Not as much of what I call sweat equity.
Would you
When it
say
comes
it's
to the
better than Mortal Kombat, or would you say it's about the same? I've been curious about that.
Okay, it depends on what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for a fighting game that is highly technical but has had great immersion of being able to bring players of all skill levels in, Street Fighter's your thing. If you're looking for a fighter with the least amount of buttons but the most sound thing and relies a little bit more on juggling, you go to that can rely a bit on juggling. Although Capcom fighters do a lot of juggling.
Doo doo.
Tekken is your way to go because you only have 4 buttons instead of 6. But NRS fighters, which are otherwise known as the American-based fighting game. Yes, I said it. Mortal Kombat is the American-based fighting game because Midway, the original franchise that found it, or developing company that published Mortal Kombat, is a Chicago-based company before NRS eventually took it over. I think
Also,
that
also fun fact with Mortal Kombat is I believe that was the first game to ever have the rating system for M.
it was the game that ultimately triggered the ESRB to do a few other things.
Karens everywhere enjoyed that.
Yeah. But that was about a whole 25, 26 years before the term Karen even came into existence.
I mean, close enough.
But we digress. We digress from the answer that I was trying to give you. Mortal Kombat, I think, is an incredibly effective fighter for what it does. I just think that Mortal Kombat is more of your entertainment for the bloodthirsty.
Interesting.
I mean,
Fatality.
is it a good sound fighter? Yes. Is it the fighter that I like to go to? No. But it is. I do not question the quality of what Mortal Kombat and NRS bring to the table. Beyond that, been doing some Dungeons and Dragons. Haven't played as much Magic, but I plan to get a little bit of time in this week with that. I have not gotten to watch Quarterback, but we will speak on things with it here a little later. We have a lot of different things that we're kind of speaking on a little bit later, and kind of some points that go into multiple areas of the episode. So, let's get right into our starting lineup this week.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to start with Wimbledon. Wimbledon is now concluded. The women's championship looked all right, but I think that the best thing that happened was actually Sunday morning. Well, Sunday morning for us here across the Atlantic,
I was snoozing.
or basically across the pond.
They were watching it on the telly.
Yeah, but Novak Djokovic was stunned by Carlos Alcaraz, who, but I mean, stunned is also a little bit of an understatement here, as Alcaraz also had the number one overall seed.
More like
But
flabbergasted.
But Djokovic was more so the number one, has been the number one guy in the world for a good amount of time. And it took 5 sets, and there was a game in the third, or I think it was like in the third set. There was a game between the two of them that lasted 27 minutes. Just a simple game in a set. So I have a funny feeling that this could be something that may last around for a little while until Djokovic eventually retires his way out.
So did Federer and Nadal retire from that, or was there more of a...
Yes, Federer and Nadal have both... well, Federer has retired. I can't remember if Nadal has yet. But I know that Nadal is amazing on clay. And actually, Alcaraz is also from Spain as well. But Federer and Nadal also had a classic in Wimbledon. So this I think also gets right up there with it. Okay. I'll let you take the next one here as we talk about D-Hop.
All right, DeAndre Hopkins is now going into the graveyard that is the Tennessee Titan wide receiver room. You saw Julio go in there. You saw many other wide receivers go in there, and now it's time for DeAndre to go into the pasture like Old Yeller.
Huh. Is it really a bad thing? I mean, he wants to be the number one guy. He wants to be paid $30 million. But I think the main issue with the Tennessee Titans is that they have not had a viable quarterback since Steve Air McNair.
They screwed up big time. And I think DeAndre pulled a Juju Smith-Schuster from what happened a year before he became a Chief, where he did not have the best season and then came to the Chiefs. And I'm not... This isn't me being a butthurt Chiefs fan wanting DeAndre. This is more so just a realistic... Here's what you rope yourself into. You roped yourself into, like what Spence was saying, Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis and whoever the hell they decide is gonna be their main guy. You still have Derrick Henry, but for how long, we don't know. Maybe he gets sent out, who knows. But I think he stays until he requests a trade or something, I think. I don't know. But I think it's a bad idea for DeAndre to be a Titan. I would have rather him been like a Patriot or somewhere other than the Chiefs. Like, yes, I wanted him on the Chiefs, but as far as like other options, from what I'm trying to say is, I think he would have rather been like somewhere like the Patriots or or maybe the Bills other than the Chiefs. I just don't think this Titans idea is a good idea from the past when it came to Julio Jones going there a couple of years ago, then later being traded to the Buccaneers. Like, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I don't think this is a good idea.
How knowledgeable are you of your professional wrestling? Remember the mid-2000s, a tag team known as Crime Time?
Okay. Keep going.
Because DeAndre Hopkins went to Tennessee simply for that money. Yeah. Money. Yeah. Just simply That's just simply what he did.
Well, yeah, it's still it's whatever. If things don't turn out for him, but he still gets the cash money, good for him. But I just think he made a dumb mistake, especially if he was talking
I
about
definitely think it was a
how
dumb mistake when you're wanting to actually contend for a Super Bowl.
yeah, and the Titans are like far from that.
As if they weren't any closer. They weren't any closer without DeAndre Hopkins as they are now with him.
Dude, the Titans literally just like spritzed a little bit of water on a turd is what they did.
They simply refused to pay AJ Brown, traded him away. They traded Swole Batman away to now sign a receiver who is half a decade old and right now is nowhere near as good.
I wonder if they could use. Well, I wonder if they could also use DeAndre as like a veteran, like, uh, role for. So like, let's say he gets hurt.
For Traylon Burks, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
For
Is like,
Burks, absolutely. I think this could get Traylon Burks more looks.
also, I think it's probably a better. I mean, I really want him to be on the Chiefs, but who knows his longevity in the league um and if it was really even worth spending like 10 million a year or more just to have like him be a presence on the team.
Yeah. So basically, the quarterback situation consists of you have the three quarterbacks are Ryan Tannehill, who probably, if Will Levis does well, he becomes Ryan Tannehill. Becomes
What?
absolutely a nobody.
What?
Ryan Tannehill.
What? That's just me doing the Pat McAfee stuff. What?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, that's L.A. Knight. My bad.
Macedon.
No, what was Stone Cold?
What?
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 Mine. Alright,
This digression has gone absolutely nowhere fast.
This is why we're a good
As
team.
I was saying, the three quarterbacks in Tennessee right now are Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, and Will Levis. Don't get me wrong, Will Levis has a cannon for an arm, but I believe that Will Levis, even though he could get DeAndre Hopkins the ball deep, the speed on Hopkins has diminished just enough that I think this could become a problem.
You mean they're 3/4 of the way there with their three quarterbacks? Anyways,
No, that basically just becomes a 75-cent refund.
can't even get a Nickelback.
Wait, now that would make it 80 cents.
God damn it. Alright, FIFA Men's World Cup
Okay.
starts Thursday. Lionel Messi has arrived in Miami and will debut in the not too distant future. And then the
Yeah,
X
so
Games.
it should be within the next couple of weeks, yep. But the big one here that we're going to talk about, X Games California, starts later on this week. Do we have any X Games that stand out to you?
Mainly the Tony Hawk. I think so when we were talking yesterday about Tony Hawk and the 800 or 720 or whatever.
On the 900, yep.
Yeah, I think I was watching like a highlight reel from ESPN Classics. That might have been where that was, because I vividly remember me shooting buckets on my Papa Shot on the ESPN Sports Center Papa Shot that they had back in the day, where it was like a 3 to 4 sport
Yeah.
like toy where you could like kick a soccer ball, you could putt like a golf ball, you could throw a football through like the holes and stuff for the targets, and then you had the Papa Shot. Well, I vividly remember watching ESPN Classic on the TV while I was like playing on that Papa Shot and eating some Starbursts. I think that might have been when I remembered that Tony Hawk 900. But it could have
Yeah.
also been the Winter X Games too, but that's a whole different thing.
No, Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk was exclusively summer.
Dude, could you imagine Tony Hawk on a snowboard?
Mm, he might not be bad, although he did recent. Although he's only just gotten back, just recently, kind of like back in recovery after. Well, he's developed it over some time after cracking his femur.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it on some podcasts I listened to about how he was like, "Oh, the doc told him, oh, you shouldn't probably be rolling on that femur," and he's just like, "All right, hold my beer."
Yeah, but Tony Hawk, I remember watching this 900 moment as a kid. I remember watching that. I remember watching Travis Pastrana's double backflip. I was in high school. So the moment with Tony Hawk, it was the summer with me heading into fourth grade. The
I might
double
have been in
backflip.
first or second grade. Oh, never mind.
No, no, because I was 9. Because that was 1999 for Tony Hawk. Because that ultimately, shortly after, that led to the release of the first ever Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game.
Yeah, I was 2 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was saying. I was like, you were a toddler when that happened.
I was in diapers, probably.
Now you would have been in the fourth grade when Travis Pastrana landed the double backflip on a dirt bike. I remembered that one. I was in high school when that happened. I think I was getting ready to go into my junior year of high school when that X Games occurred. Dave Mira with the double backflip on a BMX bike. Shaun White. I remember the Chuck Carruthers moment on the dirt bike where he did the body varial. I think the only one majorly that I was excited, or that was super exciting, I didn't realize happened in 2002 was Matt Hoffman landing a no-handed 900. I might have watched it because I watched a good amount of the X Games stuff as a kid. Just because it was a bunch of crazy people doing cool tricks.
Oh, raw tide. I won't do that again. I'm sorry.
No, but it was called. I was watching it because it's a sport where where people were doing cool stuff. Like, I can't hate this. It's too exciting to watch. But speaking of things that are exciting, one of our exciting segments coming up that we are about ready to go into now is the good, the bad, the ugly, our Eastwood segment. APB to Ruckus.
Alright, there we go.
APB to Ruckus.
Shut up. Alright, Alright, so what's good in sports this week, Spennis?
We will actually be doing one of these later as our primetime game. The good this week goes to Immaculate Grid. The daily Sudoku style grid trivia themed around Major League Baseball has had such a good following that it has been officially picked up by Baseball Reference. And they could be looking to be making things even more exciting for, I mean, Immaculate Grid. This has really been something that's only been like maybe about a month old, and the most known research thing for baseball has picked it up. And this can go even further.
Yep. All right.
This has been that's huge for eventually whoever made it.
Yep. All right. So for the bad in sports this week, we had the 2023 ESPYs. Well, sports happened. The ceremony was held, and absolutely no one cared. As ESPN's major award show recognizing sports has been relegated to becoming filler that doesn't matter.
Was anybody even watching it anyway?
Dude, I watched the highlights. That's how much I gave a shit about this. I was just like, alright, because, like, I didn't even know it was happening. I'm like, okay, whatever, but I'm not gonna, like, dedicate my, hour or so to, like, be like, you know what? You know what sounds good right now? A good ice cold beer and the ESPYs?
No, it's not quite the same. The ESPYs as an award show is not quite the same as if you are watching the Oscars, the Tonys, or really probably one of the better award shows that's on TV, or that normally is on TV, the Grammys.
I think the only award show I really watch, which isn't on TV, which is more of a nerdy thing, is the Game Awards, because they have a lot of trailers.
The Game Awards is always, for us, especially because we love video games too, the Game Awards is obviously number one for us. But I'm talking like for the most of the general public who video games, not everybody, it's not everybody's fresh hot cup of joe. But there is absolutely very few people that don't really like some form of music.
I feel like the VMAs is a good one too that we didn't mention. With the MTV.
The VMAs is not bad with MTV, but they also have the movie awards as well. But I think that your most notable moments come out of the Oscars.
Yep, because then you got actors that are either get. I love it when the actors in the Oscars, whenever they actually win their first Oscar, after they had been wanting one for a while, they finally get one. Like Leo DiCaprio back in 2017 with The Revenant, or like recently Brendan Fraser with The Whale.
With The Whale, yep. But where I'm going with this is that honestly, for most people, the one award show that you're generally going to get the most attention out of, regardless of genre, is the Grammys.
With Alicia Keys.
It doesn't even matter if it's just Alicia Keys, but it's the one award show that probably has the most spectacle, like a Super Bowl halftime show.
Didn't Alicia Keys host it a couple of times though?
I believe Alicia Keys has hosted the Grammy Awards. Yes,
because that girl is on fire.
And we're not talking literally, people. This is.
I mean,
if she were literally on fire, Swiss Beats would be having a fit.
This girl is not on fire. Sorry, I had to do it.
I'm sorry, but that whole concept there.
I'm sorry for your eardrums, ladies and gentlemen.
Ended up with the beats like Swiss cheese was full of holes. That was full of too many holes.
Oof. All right, downright ugly.
Aside.
Downright ugly. What? I'll let you take this one.
The ugly that I am going to here is actually in college athletics, involving coaches. Granted, in Morgantown, or even with really the great state of West Virginia, we have the whole WVU Bob Huggins and the saga of did he or did he not resign as the men's basketball coach of the Mountaineers. His camp says no. WVU says he has. And currently, their WVU is dealing with the sagas of the transfer portal with college basketball. But the ugliness of this is not just in Morgantown, West Virginia. It is in Illinois as well with Northwestern University. As the football coach there was fired for having knowledge of hazing going on. And we're not talking just the front, like, say, like your normal NFL rookie hazing where you have the quarterback buying the offensive line dinner, or the rookies buying the vets dinner, or anything like that. No, like, it was stuff that was a lot worse.
I feel like this reminds me of the time that Mark Mangino was the KU football coach.
I think it may have something similar. But then, just a few short days after the football coach was fired, the baseball coach was fired from Northwestern for bullying.
What, did he call someone a pussy?
I don't know if it was, I don't know all the full extent, but 2 college athletic coaches at Northwestern University have been fired. And no, the Donald Trump impersonation will not, and I mean will not, come out.
Oh, I was just assuming, like, with baseball, they, like, they had those turns, but it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Oh, no, I was just going with I was trying to go with the Donald Trump impersonation. But instead, I'll do Mr. Krabs. You're fired!
SpongeBob me Bob, you are fired.
All's ashore, shore to shore, Mr. Squidward.
All right.
Digression aside. Can we hurry up? We're running out of time cards.
Oh, but
where's
we're
the
now gonna
leak,
go...
ma'am? All right. Are we ready for the high heat? It's sizzling over here with the MLB trade deadline.
Sedan. You left your lights on.
Ah, tartar sauce.
But with all of that aside, we're going to go straight into the high heat now, with the MLB trade deadline being just a couple of short weeks away. But the bad news is that we're not going to be on the air when most of the deals happen. Unfortunately. And what would have been odd enough, Ruckus, while you're all the way over in the land of the rising sun, the very episode that we would have been able to unveil a lot of this, the night after everything happened, the 31st, the trade deadline, is right there on an episode night.
Do you really think Shohei is going to be traded? Because I have a feeling he's not.
I think he is. He's in the perfect situation as far as expiring contract and a team that is kind of faltering and needing to sell things anyway.
All right, let's take a bet on this. Here's the thing. If my bet is if he doesn't get traded, we do a rematch of the of our bomb squads. If he does get traded, then we don't do it.
I don't know if we really want to do bomb squads again. And that's just because
Well, I mean, it'd be easier for you to say if he does get traded, though.
I mean, it'd be easier to say if he does. But at the same time, I don't think I want to do Bomb Squad. As far as like that, I don't want to do. As far as another theme team match, I don't want to do Bomb Squad. I do agree that another rematch of MLB The Show comes along. But I think because we've done Bomb Squads already, I'm calling your bluff in saying I'm okay with another rematch. I just want you to think of another theme that is a little more creative.
That's fine. But yeah,
But
I don't think he's getting
I'm
traded.
just wanting to raise your like I don't fully agree with the terms.
That's okay.
Like I can agree with
I mean,
hey, another rematch, but I don't want to agree to the terms of Bomb Squads.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, we didn't shake on it anyways, so it's all good.
Yeah. Oh, how possibly could we, even though we're on two different time zones? but I think we also have I think we've also got an episode before you go to Japan to actually really think this over.
Right, and it could be early stuff too that happens, but we'll see. All right. So for prime targets, we already talked about Shohei. Technically,
I have Emmanuel Clase here because I think the Indians are gonna drop the load. We gotta drop the load. We're falling out of the sky.
that's my favorite SpongeBob episode because of the fact that like they have the magic conch, and then Squidward is like trying to cook a bug, and then the bug just like kicks him in the face. All
It's
right.
actually that it hits him in the face with a stick, but
All right. And then our next one is Chuck Nasty, aka Charlie Blackman.
I think that Chris Bryant here also could be dealt. But I have Chuck Nasty and CJ Crone here.
Mad Max could get dealt.
I think Mad Max is in that situation where the Mets have just they gotta do something if they want to. And I think it's going to be sacrificing a little bit on the pitching side to then say, hey, let's get a position player to possibly make a really big push.
My friend, a coworker of mine, was telling me like, do you think that Otani could go to the Mets? And I said no, because if you're gonna add dysfunction, don't put Otani into it. Yes, Steve Cohen is Mr. Moneybags with the contracts, but for the most part, that really hasn't panned out as far as this season with because Edwin Diaz got extended, then got hurt. You have Mad Max, which is kind of a wild card when it comes to his health currently, with being healthy. And then Verlander, who you just extended this season, really hasn't.
Pushing 40.
Yeah, but also hasn't been healthy, really. Lindor is been okay. You got Alonso on his rookie deal still. You have a bunch of other guys that need to step up that haven't really. Nimmo got extended and he's been doing okay, but do you really want to put Otani in that situation? I don't think so.
I mean, basically Steve Cohen's been playing with Monopoly money. He's been over here trying to get all this stuff here with with real life Monopoly money. But sooner or later, he's buying up over half the board, and then all of a sudden, he just landed on Boardwalk with a hotel on. So he's got to mortgage a little bit of what he's already picked up and acquired to just make the money back, to try and make the money back and pay his bill.
All right, and then another Cleveland Guardian, we have Jose Ramirez.
I have Jose Ramirez. I believe Cleveland is in fire. I believe Cleveland will be in fire sale mode. I mean, they have found every single. They have found every single artistic way to avoid a fire sale. I just don't know if they can. I just don't know how much longer they really have to pretty much be able to do that.
Do you think that the Twins have a better chance of getting farther in the playoffs than the Guardians? Because I have a feeling that the Guardians are just playing chicken. What if Clase gets traded to the Twins?
I don't know if Clase will get traded to the Twins. I think I see Clase going to a team that needs bullpen help.
So like the Phillies or the Astros or the Blue Jays.
Yes. Well, I mean, the Blue Jays also have Jordan Romano, but I believe that Clase will probably go to a team. Wait, no, Houston has Ryan Presley.
Yeah, but you still need help there.
I mean, you could get a second person.
Neris is not your... Hector Neris is not the answer, though, as far as your setup.
Oh,
he's more of a he's more of a bullpen reliever rather than a setup.
No, but if you're trading for Emmanuel Clase, you are trading for a pure closer. You are trading for the player. You are trading for a player who always earns his cookie because cookies are for closers.
I mean, that's good enough for me.
I'm surprised you didn't catch exactly where I was going with that.
Well, I was going to see it was for cookie.
No, I was going boss baby.
Oh,
the Alec Baldwin, like, no, you can't have cookies are for closers.
I didn't really watch Boss Baby, but I thought you meant...
That quote was in, like, trailers for it.
Oh, well, I didn't really watch them. That tells you how much I care about that. And then
I also see Luis Robert as the White Sox could be selling.
I don't think Robert's going anywhere. Lucas Giolito, though, yes. Robert has been having some hamstring issues. So has Eloy Jimenez. I feel like they would both be in a like, I guess, package deal. But Lucas Giolito has been linked to the Dodgers and other teams so far. I don't know. I mean, he'd be a good cheap rental because Giolito has been, like, in a mix of on and off progression as far as how he's been. I mean, every pitcher's gonna have that kind of off day or good day, but you gotta have the confidence and produce when it counts. And then let's move on to teams looking to make a leverage move.
Yes. And here are the teams that I feel have this big thing. I have the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Mets, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, and the Twins. Or at least these are the teams that I think are probably going to be hottest on the trail looking for a move. There's teams that I think are going to be a little more subtle about it, though.
I think the Twins are going to be more of a leverage. The Red Sox, I think, is long. I think you maybe need one piece that's like is like kind of like just one of those pieces where it's just like insurance. The Dodgers, I think they might. I feel like if anything, they might go for Ohtani, but I don't think Ohtani's gonna get dealt.
The Yankees lose.
And then the Blue Jays, I think if anything, they go for some competition or at least some extra firepower. But as far as they're concerned, I think their bullpen needs more help. Like their offense, I think they could get away with what they have. The Mets, um, the Mets are just gonna be the Mets, and I don't know if they're going to sell off some guys, like if they maybe sell off Max Scherzer to get some offense. We'll see. The Giants, I think they're in their own they're on their own land, I guess. Like no one's really messing with them. They're just kind of existing because they have the pieces, like as far as their offense goes, but their pitching has been okay, but like you only have a couple guys on your bullpen that really like matter. Like you have Duvall, which is your closer, but you have some unknowns there in your bullpen that you need to like flesh out. The Diamondbacks, they seem okay, but they need another bullpen guy besides Andrew Chafin.
This could be where a Clase could go.
Do you think the Diamondbacks would be willing to shell out for Class A though? Like who would they have to give up?
As long as they don't give up Corbin Carroll, they're fine. I don't think there's too much that they really have to worry about. I mean, Clase could be like a premier prospect, or like maybe a premier prospect in the farm system. But I mean, Clase is not necessarily a closer that is break the bank.
I wonder if I wonder if they trade Ketel Marte for Class A.
I don't think so. I don't
Or
think
maybe
you
maybe they send Pavin Smith and some other like not super developed guys to the Guardians for Class A.
Yeah, I think they send like a good prospect package and maybe like a lower end major leaguer. So
Maybe Kyle Lewis goes with Pavin Smith for Emmanuel Clase, and maybe they give up Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
I think that Lourdes Gurriel. I don't think they're gonna give up Lourdes Gurriel. I think they just got him.
Well, he's not safe by any means. Um, Lourdes could be the guy that kind of moves from team to team. I mean, yes, he's had his hot streaks, but like you said, Corbin Carroll's like kind of technically untouchable. Well, he's not untouchable, but he definitely doesn't want, or it's probably something that the Diamondbacks don't want to deal.
Bust the mojo. You don't want to bust the mojo you have by getting rid. And then the teams that are looking to fire sale and dump off dead weight, I think you've got the Yankees, the Guardians, the Mariners, the Athletics, and the Padres.
I don't know how much dead weight the Yankees really have. I mean, you have Dalton, which is on the IL now.
Well,
no one wants Juan Carlo.
I'm hearing everybody is like they've been trying. Like I've been hearing so many rumors about the Yankees trying for Shohei Ohtani, but I think Shohei Ohtani wants West Coast.
I doubt he's gonna help the Yankees all that much with their dysfunction. Because at that point, with the Yankees, it's kind of like the Yankees are like if the Angels were in the AL East. If you want to go that far. The I I kind of feel like the Yankees should be scratched out of this because who the hell are they gonna dump off? You got a lot. The talent that you do have is either not really named, like nameless, or you have people that are injured that you can't really deal.
Well, here's the thing: you have Volpe, you have Oswald, and you
what
have
about
Jason Dominguez. Yes, you caught exactly why I did that.
Yeah, and I still don't know if um that's gonna be enough.
I mean, that's gonna be enough to draw somebody.
Yeah, but it's not gonna. It's not gonna. All it's doing is
It's not
throwing.
going to be enough to draw Otani,
They're still
but it
throwing
will
crap at
bring
a wall.
somebody.
They're still throwing crap at a wall, in my
You're,
opinion.
yeah, you're still throwing. You're still going to be throwing darts against the wall and pray and hoping and praying something sticks. But you have a better chance of it sticking for at least one, maybe two guys that you might be able to get something really, really serviceable out of to try and put you in a better fight for the playoff spot if you let go of it.
But I do agree with the Guardians fire sale. I think Jose Ramirez goes somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if Jose Ramirez goes to the Dodgers. He's got pop in his bat, and he could definitely help him on at third. Because Miguel Rojas, not it.
I wouldn't be surprised if you also see Jose Ramirez possibly find his way into the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox could look into him.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea because you still have the question mark of Trevor Story.
Well, Trevor Story's been injured.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Jose Ramirez would definitely fill the void at third, and then you'd still have Devers at first, right? Or would Devers want to be at third and then
No,
Jose?
I think what you do is that you kind of have Ramirez on the platoon,
Okay.
but Ramirez bats switch. So Ramirez, would have the capability of batting third, but then you've got Devers in there at DH. Masataka's in the outfield. Verdugo's in the outfield.
Is Verdugo healthy?
Well, Verdugo. I think Verdugo's the one of the pieces that they think the Red Sox will deal.
Okay.
But I don't think the Red Sox will go for Jose Ramirez because they already have Devers at third. That's, I think, the only reason why they wouldn't go for it. But
All
now
right.
that the trade deadline is done, or talk is done for now, we move into the color commentary, where we talk hot topics, where we have a question involving a certain hot topic, and Ruckus and I will go at it.
All right.
The first one here. With yearly runnings of HBO's Hard Knocks and the recent release of Netflix's Quarterback, should there be more content in sports that is done from behind the curtain? So, in short, do we really need more TV show style things from pretty much like Clubhouse or anything of that nature, in what I call behind the curtain, like off the field, like off the actual field of play?
Here's my subjective thought. I want more of uncensored talk from players. Like with Patrick Mahomes on quarterback, it's more he's just like uncensored, like talking shit, and like I loved the banter. It made me feel like, okay, he's not like this super kind human being all the time, like, or like what the media portrays him to be. It's more of just like raw, this is him in the moment, and I loved that about it. And it's in a way where it's tasteful, and it's not just like, oh, this guy's kind of a dirtbag, like screw this guy, we shouldn't pay much attention to him. I like that kind of aspect. I like the raw, natural aspect. If you manufacture it to the point where it's cringy and no one wants to like care about it, then then that's where I draw the line with the behind the curtains. Because there's like also good ways to do it in a PG-13 way, like with the backstage Dodgers, for example, with the Los Angeles Dodgers doing their like little behind the scenes. But there's also a show that I really like that the Kansas City Chiefs network does, and that is the franchise, which is where each season they'll do like a season of like I think 10 episodes for free on the Kansas City Chiefs YouTube channel, and that's what I like to see too. But what do you think, Spennis?
I think if you're talking behind the scenes, like stuff done more from behind the curtain, I think stuff like New Heights, where these guys, where the Kelsey brothers kind of give it in a more natural sense. Like, I love the natural side of it. You just don't want it to be cringy.
Right.
And do I think that we still get a lot of things when we watch, obviously, stuff like premium, like HBO Hard Knocks, Netflix, Quarterback? I think that if you've got like the premium stuff and you pay for it correctly, yes. Yes, the uncensored content's clearly there. But the ultimate thing is that you got to have it be organic. And I think that what I believe the Kelsey brothers do an incredible job of, especially when they talk to guys like Mahomes, is that they make it feel natural. They make it feel natural to talk about. To talk about a lot of those things from behind the curtain. You're normally going to pay no mind to it. But I think that if they do it right, you can have a little bit of that. For documentary style stuff like an ESPN 30 for 30, like stuff that you get organically from that, yes. There are ways to do it, and there's ways that it gets done, and there's ways where it looks really, really stupid. Yeah. As long as you avoid this is really stupid, you're generally fine. But I think that some of the stuff from the behind the curtain, unless it's like really, really highly permissible, you don't want to give away like information that can mess with something.
Also, you don't want to do it unless it's intentional. Like if it was like an April Fool's joke that like a team was doing, like, oh, haha, this person's a dirtbag, but really in real life they're a very nice person. Like,
yeah, I mean, pranks are fun.
Yeah.
As long as you do them tastefully. All right. The next question we have here. The Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, has boldly made a vow that he will be the first wide receiver to 2,000 yards receiving in a season. Believe that.
You like that? You like that?
Wrong quarterback. Wrong quarterback. No. Send that quarterback for right now back to Minnesota.
Oh, sorry about that.
With the Dolphins' quarterback situation offensively and a more difficult schedule this season, could Tua and Tyreek make this happen?
Can you make a dolphin fly?
What kind of sorcery are you thinking this is?
Because I only see this happening if pigs can fly. But can a dolphin fly? My answer to that sarcastic, dumb analogy is no.
No, toss a piece of bacon in the air. There, you just made a pig fly.
Isn't that Never mind.
That is not cannibalism. That is not cannibalism. Shut up.
I was like, wait, if you toss a piece of bacon, like, and then it eats it. Well, it didn't eat it, so, like, that's why I was like, wait, what? I assumed I was eating it. That's where I was wrong. Tua and Tyreek, I think, is definitely not gonna happen with the 2,000 receiving yards for Tyreek. I think that he would have to share that receiving yard stuff with some other players, and I'll let you take over
And
that.
one of them being a penguin?
You mean Batman's enemy?
No, not Oswald Cobblepot. I'm talking Jalen Waddle.
Wobble baby, waddle baby, waddle baby, waddle.
It's not a waddle. That's a wobble.
I just love his little waddle that he does for like the penguin thing whenever he gets a touchdown.
Yes, that's why they call him the penguin with his waddle. Okay, so here are some of the tougher opponents that Tua Tagovailoa will have this season. He has the Chargers again. The Patriots always give fits. The Bills, an overachieving Giants. An interesting change with the Panthers, but
I can see the Giants and the Bills being an issue.
He has the Eagles.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue.
The Chiefs.
Not as bad.
The
Probably
Jets.
Equal. The Jets.
The Jets twice. The Bills twice. The Patriots twice. The Raiders. The Cowboys. The Ravens. And yes, I'm even going to say it. I even think the Commanders will give the Dolphins fits.
Definitely. I think the Eagles, you have the Bills twice, which they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. You have, because I don't really think the Patriots are that good on defense anymore, because you lost the McCourties. You don't have Hightower anymore. So you're more so just rebuilding. And the Chiefs, I mean, yes and no. I think we're definitely a lot better than what we were last season, because you have cornerbacks that are now in their second year, and plus you have L'Jarius Sneed, which is on his contract year. So you have L'Jarius Sneed, you have Trent McDuffie, you've got Jalen Watson, and then Joshua Williams, and then you also went for more help on that front, just like in the safety position and the linebacker position. You got Drew Tranquil and a guy that could have been the Super Bowl MVP of last Super Bowl in Bolton, Nick Bolton, and then you have Willie Gay. Like, that's a force to be reckoned with. And
as long as Willie Gay is not busting dust.
Look, man, that was one time. I mean, he's probably a cleaning dude by night anyways. Like, he probably rehabilitated from that. But as far as the other um AFC East teams, I think the Bills and the Jets are definitely like the big teams like in their division that are going to be a force to be reckoned with the Dolphins. But like your Commanders, I think they'll definitely pick a fight. The Chiefs will pick a fight. The Chargers depends. They have Derwin James and then Emmanuel Smith, and that's about it. I don't know about the because the Giants are gonna be good, but I still feel like the Patriots are gonna be a mixed bag. But yeah,
Yeah.
again, I don't think Tyreek is gonna get 2,000 receiving yards. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I think that Tyreek is going to fall short. I don't even think Tyreek breaks 1,500.
I think he blows an ACL before he even gets 2,000 receiving yards.
Oh yeah. Okay. And the last major one we have Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook. All three of those running backs remain free agents, and Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs have reached the expiration point of having their franchise tags extended, as training camps are about to start soon. So, the question we have is, has the running back position in the NFL become severely devalued to the point that it is no longer important to carry a franchise running back, especially one in their late 20s?
I think so. I think it's better in general to have a backup plan because, yes, you don't. Uh, I don't know if it's necessarily devalued the running back room. I mean, it sucks to have just one and then just like be like, oh yeah, this is our guy, even though you need backups anyways. Like with a backup core, because like with if let's say this, let's let's say for example you have your star quarterback and it's like, oh my god, he's the greatest, whatever. Like like your Patrick Mahomes, your Peyton Mannings, your Tom Brady's. Like, let's say Tom Brady like blew his leg like he did back in the day.
2008, where he tore his ACL.
Right. So let's say he's out. Who's next? Well, you've gotta figure out who that is. Well, let's say the Tom Brady of running backs. Like you decide, okay, let's do like Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, well, we're just gonna have him as our starter. Well, that's not gonna really help either. But do we necessarily want to say that? I mean, do we want to say that devalues it, or would we say that it is kind of like in the same realm?
I'm gonna say it devalues the people who are way up in the food chain. It strips away a few $1,000,000 from these guys at the top of the food chain, or the ones that feel like they should be paid at the top of the food chain.
Because
Your Ezekiel Elliott, your Dalvin Cooks, your Saquon Barkleys, and your Josh Jacobs. Like, all these people who are right now thinking they should be at the top of the food chain based on last year, although Ezekiel Elliott, not so much. Dalvin Cook has a case. But with all these teams that kind of like cut away running backs and such, the NFL's become so pass happy.
I feel
Most
like it
of
also
these-
comes to luck of the draw too, because you never know if like a player is going to get injured. You also never
and running backs
know.
are normally one of the spots that suffer major injuries.
Right,
Why
and
it
the
that
same thing
the
happens with quarterbacks too, but
well, but I will say that more so, your major injuries typically come from running backs, wide receivers, linebackers, and defensive backs,
yeah.
which are basically positions that you always want to have at least two to three deep in just about every spot. And with the money that's kind of flying around, you can't necessarily do that as much.
I feel like it's more of a strategy more than a devaluement. Because, like, here's the thing. Because with the Eagles, they have Boston Scott. They did have Miles Sanders, which eventually got signed elsewhere to the Saints. And then they had, because they had Boston Scott, Miles
No,
Sanders.
I don't think Miles Sanders went to the Saints. I believe Miles Sanders went elsewhere.
Um, but you get my point. Like, there was three guys on the Eagles that was a part of that Super Bowl team. There was
Well,
Boston.
Miles Sanders is a Carolina Panther.
Okay, there we go.
Jamal
But
Williams was the one that went to the Saints.
okay. But yeah, you get what I'm saying there. And then there was other um backup plans there, cause like with the Raiders, it was mainly just Josh Jacobs, but you had like a couple other backups. I feel like either way, you're gonna have backups in that position, cause like with the Chiefs, if it wasn't Clyde Edwards-Helaire, it was Daryl Williams or Damian Williams or someone else that would step up. I feel like as far as running backs as a position, you could argue that any other position could be in the same way as far as that. Like with wide receivers, okay, someone gets hurt. Well, um, does that really devalue that? Well, it depends on the strength of your roster. And yes, money could be an issue with that too if it becomes like a superstar or whatnot. But I think it all at the end of the day it comes to talent and who you have on your roster, but also I don't know if that really devalues it.
Yeah, it just kind of it it kind of deflates it a little bit.
I would, yeah. I think it just depends on who's on your roster and the luck of health comes around for your starters, and then also the luck of your running backs. Because who knows? That running back that's just like an unknown entity is going to possibly blossom. Like, people. No one knew that Isaiah Pacheco was going to be who he is now until it happened. He was more of like a diamond in the rough. No one knew that uh no one knew that Jody Fortson was going to become a another tight end weapon for the Chiefs. Like, no one knew that Rob Gronkowski was going to be who he was until later on. He was a late draft pick tight end for the Patriots that eventually
Gronk was a
became.
second round pick.
Wait,
That's
really?
Not that,
I thought he
that's
was.
not that late.
In the documentary, it made it sound like he was like a round 6 pick.
No, Gronk was a second round pick.
Okay. Well, even then, like, there's been, like, underrated players that have been in certain positions that have been severely, or what people feel like is severely devalued or whatever. I feel like in general, any
There's a
position can
little
be
bit of a
devalued.
difference with the tight ends is that the tight ends were so devalued for a long time. But then you had guys like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, that were tight ends Dallas Clark, who were tight ends that could catch passes, that kind of raised the value of what guys like Rob Gronkowski Darren Waller, Travis Kelsey have been able to do.
Yeah. All
And
right.
actually, the funny thing is that the New England drafted 2 tight ends in 2010.
Aaron Hernandez?
Hernandez was the other. Yep, they drafted Gronkowski in round 2 at the 42nd pick, and then they drafted Aaron Hernandez 2 rounds later with the 113th pick.
Maybe that's who that was, because I was trying to. Because the reason why I was talking about Rob at the later rounds was because of the documentary he had with Tom Brady, and I think that was like.
You talking Man in the Arena?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That
no, Gronk was a second round pick.
okay. Because they were talking about how he was like the next greatest thing after Randy Moss and all those other greats that they had to move on.
Oh, Gronk definitely was that case.
Yeah. All right. So are we ready for our prime time?
Yes,
Well,
the prime time game.
do we want to talk about
Here,
the previous results?
yeah, I don't know why you split this into a second slide. That really didn't need to go there.
Well, I kind of didn't know if we wanted to distinguish it, but do you
No,
wanna do you wanna talk about what happened last time?
Ugh, yeah, we're going to have to. Yeah, because ultimately I started manufacturing runs early. I get a 1 with a bloop single from Jorge Soler to bring in Juan Soto. I had a perfect game bid going into the 5th inning and then was broken by
Tyro
Tyro
Estrada.
Estrada. And then the game was tied on an Ezekiel Duran RBI single.
Let's
And
go!
Ruckus wins it in the top of the 7th, taking the lead, and I can't manufacture anything after that.
Because I pretty much I went with Hunter Green near the end because I was like, okay, let's see how this goes, and then I just went bullpen, bullpen, bullpen. I did not uh, stop at go and collect $200. I just went with it. I was just like, full send. Don't give Spence any hope.
Huh. Yeah, and it was not like I was doing terrible. It was just
It was a really close one, just like in the last one. It was really close. I will admit that. And I got really lucky because I didn't know if I was going to actually produce any runs. But anyways, let's go to our this episode's prime time.
yes, our prime time game this week is our baseball referenced Immaculate Grid. So, the concept here, the rules. We have to select a player for each cell, 9 guesses to fill out the grid. Each guess, whether correct or incorrect, counts as a guess. New grid every day. Player can't be used twice. Players may be active or inactive. Previous
Okay.
names of franchises qualify. So for the Expos players, they qualify for the Nationals. The Browns players will match for the Orioles. Indians players go to the Guardians. Senators players, depending on who you have, it will go to either the Twins or the Rangers. Brooklyn Dodgers players also count for the LA Dodgers. For a player and team cell, players must have played at least 1 game in the show for that team. For team and award cell, that player must have won that award in a season he appeared for that team. The exception is all-star selections, which are only associated with a single team. For example, Joey Gallo was an all-star in 2021 and he split seasons between Texas and New York. He represented the Rangers in the All-Star game, so it would match for the Rangers, but not the Yankees. However, other award winners that played for multiple teams can match any team that he played for. In other words, Zach Greinke won a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger while playing for both Houston and Arizona. So he would qualify for either award for either team. Hall of Famers can be inducted from any category, player, team, umpire, executive, pioneer, but must have played a major league game for the team in question. World Series winners must have appeared in a postseason game or on a postseason roster that season for that team to qualify. For team and season stat, the players must have recorded the stat while on that team. For players who had multiple teams in the season, the stat must have been recorded with that team. For example, in 2017, JD Martinez had hit 45 home runs, but his season was also split between the Detroit Tigers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. He would not match for a 40 home run season with either team. He hit 16 home runs in Detroit that season, with 29 and the 29 of his 45 were in Arizona. Neither of them are enough. For team and career stat, could reach the career stat simply had to play for the team at any point. For example, Randy Johnson, 3,000 strikeouts, even though he had 2,162 for the Seattle Mariners and 2,077 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Career rate stats have minimums of 3,000 plate appearances and 1,000 innings. New as of last week, if one of the stats is a rate stat, batting average, ERA, etc., the player must have qualified for the season's rate stat leaderboards. For 2 stat award cells, the player did not necessarily need to accomplish the stat or award in the same season. For example, Willie McCovey would qualify for a 40 home run season and Rookie of the Year. So, here are the 9 slots we have to figure out. Going vertically, we have the Texas Rangers on the left side, the Washington Nationals in the middle, and a 200 strikeout season on the right. At the top, we have the Houston Astros. In the middle, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And on the bottom, a Gold Glove Award winner. So, we need a player for the Astros and Rangers, the Nationals and Astros, an Astros player who had a 200 strikeout season while pitching for Houston, a National or Dodger and a Ranger, a National and a Dodger, and this also can count as an Expo, a Dodger with a 200 strikeout season, a Nationals player with a Gold Glove, a Rangers player with a Gold Glove, and a pitcher who had a 200 strikeout season with a Gold Glove. I think I know a couple of notable moves that I want to make right away.
Spit it out.
Dodgers 200 strikeout season. I'm going to go with Fernando Valenzuela. And Fernando Mania had 7%. Another move I'm going to make here. Nationals Gold Glove winner. I'm going to go Orlando Cabrera at 1%. And for Nationals Dodgers, because he was also a Montreal Expo, I am going to go with Pedro Martinez, who had 4%. So, do you think? So here are the few names that I'm kind of kicking around.
Astros, Nationals, Will Harris.
Will Harris?
Yes.
Did you look this one up?
I did not.
Will Harris? Wait. When did he play for the Nationals?
He played like in 2021, I believe, because it was like the year that he went from being a free agent after the World Series loss from the Astros to the Nationals or whatnot, and then he played for the Nationals because they were like the World Series winners, so he went to them because they were paying him more. I think was the thing there.
Can we think of a better answer? But I will go with your guess. Okay. Will Harris was at 18%. Okay. So here are the few names that I am definitely torn with. Rangers, Dodgers. I mean, we obviously could go Corey Seager.
Or Joey Gallo. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, Joey Gallo, because he
Was Joey Gallo a Dodger?
Yep. Very vividly though, like it was like for maybe a quarter of the season.
Yep. Joey Gallo will count 10%. Astros, Rangers. The obvious one is Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Will
know
Smith.
who I think would have been an even more powerful answer for that I think a good amount of people would have picked for Dodgers, Rangers. And I think we probably could have gotten at least a decent amount for Corey Seager. Another one would have been Adrian Beltre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about
So Astros, Rangers.
Will Smith? Because
said
wait, Astros.
Astros,
Yeah,
Rangers.
because he played for both the Astros and Rangers, but it was like vivid. Because Astros, he was traded from the Braves to the or not Rangers, from the Braves to the Astros for.
Now here's the problem: we have two Will Smiths. Did this Will Smith start in 2019 or 2012? Is he the
2012.
catcher or the pitcher?
2012.
Okay, that Will Smith does count at 4%.
And he doesn't get slapped. Yay. Alright, what do we have left?
We need a Gold Glover from the Rangers, which I'm wondering if A-Rod did it.
Michael Young.
Michael Young? Did he win one?
Yes.
Yep, 11%. An Astro pitcher with a 200 strikeout season. I think the obvious ones are going to be Cole and Verlander.
I thought it would have been Nolan Ryan. But we already put him in, didn't we?
No, we didn't. Do we want to go Nolan Ryan here?
Why not?
Nolan Ryan actually is at 15%, so that's actually a good pick. Now, a Gold Glover with a 200 strikeout season. I think we can afford to put some obvious answers in here.
What team though?
This isn't any team.
Okay.
Any pitcher who won a Gold Glove and struck out 200 in a season.
Do we want to go Zach Greinke?
I was looking Greg Maddux, but
That works.
But
that's better.
Did Greinke have a Gold Glove?
I don't think so, to be honest. Do we want to try it?
No, I'm going to go with the easy one here, Greg Maddux. Okay, so we ended up with a rarity score of 130. And really our only major issue was the Greg Maddux. Other than that, we had everything below 20%, which isn't bad. We got an immaculate. But I will definitely tell you that I've had a couple of really, really good rounds recently with some of mine. I had a round where I scored a rarity score. I've had a round where I scored a rarity score of 94. I got a. I ended up with a few rounds where I got a player who had less than 1%, or roughly around 1%. My rarity score of 94 came with me, of course, using Frank Robinson, Steve Pierce, Brian Roberts, Rafael Furcal. Put Fred McGriff in a situation where he only had 14%.
So is the idea of it to be the rarity of the player, like, well, not known?
The less you get sometimes, the better. You can still get a high rarity score and be okay. But some of the fun in the Immaculate Grid is figuring out who some of the lower scores are. Okay. So here was the interesting thing about all of this. The most popular answers. Who do you think was the most popular answer for today's grid on Astros Rangers? Yep, at 59%. Will Harris was actually the most popular answer for Astros Nationals. There were 86 possible answers that could have been picked. We could have put Moises Alou, Rick Ankiel, Pedro Estacio, Vinny Castilla. Randy Johnson actually fits, ironically enough. Greg Maddox's brother Mike Maddox. Orlando Merced. That's an interesting name. Let's see, come across. Preston Wilson. Yeah, so there were a couple of other more obscure names that could have been used. The most popular answer for Astros 200 strikeout season was Justin Verlander. The most popular answer for Dodgers Rangers, of course, I said it earlier, Corey Seager. Nationals Dodgers, I'm sure you know who the most popular answer would have been there. Ruckus?
Fernando Valenzuela?
No. Nationals Dodgers? The most popular answer for that would have been Trey Turner. The most popular answer for Dodgers 200 strikeout season, I'm sure you know this one. At 59%, Clayton Kershaw. Greg Maddux was the most popular for Gold Glove 200 strikeout season.
Did you say Rangers Dodgers for Clayton Kershaw?
No, Dodgers 200 strikeout season.
Yeah. Sorry.
Rangers Dodgers was Corey Seager. We could have put Adrian Beltre there and got obscure, but I don't know how much more obscure it would have been. But Rangers Gold Glove for most popular was Adrian Beltre. And then Nationals Gold Glove, the most popular was Ryan Zimmerman. the one that was going to trip everybody up actually was the Nationals Astros. And more people would either get 7 or 9 with the immaculate grid today. So not bad. Not bad. We got an immaculate this week. And I'm sure that we definitely could be collaborating more on these in the future.
Yep. Alright, so do we want to go into our stud and duds now?
Yes, let's hit the stud and dud.
Alright, I'll go first. For my stud, I have the LeBron James SB speech about retiring from the game and why he hasn't done it yet. And mainly it was because he feels like he has more to give to the NBA, and when he does end up retiring, that'll be when he doesn't have any left. And then my honorable mention for the stud is Liam Hendriks saying he won't give up on himself because Jimmy V didn't give up either.
Okay, I honestly liked the Liam Hendriks thing a lot more now that you've said that. The LeBron James thing, that he just needs to go away.
Also, I thought it was funny that LeBron James's wife was like, he is one bad mother, and then and then the daughter was like, Mom, don't say it. And then she's like, oh, sorry. I don't know. I think LeBron still has stuff in the tank, but I can see the annoyance of, come on, like, let's retire and give some talent to someone else, but I don't know. Let the man go.
I just want people to shut up about him. Just shut up. Simple as that. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. And then
it's like you have these bronzexuals who this is almost as bad, if not probably about equally as bad as the Swiftie community.
Can you elaborate on that?
The hype is all around LeBron James no matter where. But then the fan base stuff is so fanatical for LeBron James as it is really also about Taylor Swift.
Oh, okay.
From this, yeah. It's becoming too much.
I honestly, yeah, it just depends on like what your interests are too, because like I even think that the Taylor Swift thing is crazy too.
Overrated.
I feel like LeBron let him do what he does. As far as Taylor Swift, like yeah, it's insane that people are like spending thousands of dollars on a ticket that's in the nosebleeds just to see her on a TV.
I mean, think it's also bad enough that people also are spending like buku amounts of money for shows, country music wise.
Well, like even people are like spending money on eBay buying like rainwater from like a concert. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, like from the digressions aside, I think your point is valid on LeBron, but I still think like let him play till he figures that enough is enough. But as far as
he's not gonna find enough until Bronny finally hits the league, unfortunately.
I think it'd be cool to see him and Bronny play together, kind of like in the sense where it's like Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. like played catch, but I think it'd be cooler if like Bronny and LeBron like played and then maybe got like a championship out of it. I think that'd be cool, but anyways, I'm gonna go into my dud, and I'm going to
Well,
say
I was gonna probably go through my little theme of dud because I also have long duds too.
right.
My theme for my studs this week is dialing long distance. My honorable mention goes to Sabrina Ionescu and her performance in the WNBA 3-point shootout, as she won the thing by hitting 20 consecutive threes in a row. This girl can shoot. And of course, we go from probably right now the best shooter in the WNBA to the best shooter in the NBA, except he's not doing this with a basketball. He's hit from Stephen Curry, my also a stud this week, aced a par 3 and hit an eagle to win a celebrity golf event that he was competing in. But the acing the par 3, I mean, you're used to seeing him shooting a basketball from about 30 feet and it going in every time. Or what seems like every time. This is a golf shot that's from like over 150 yards of some sort. And he's able to bounce it in and get a hole in one. So dialing long distance is where my studs went this week.
All right.
Yep. What's your dud this week, Ruckus?
All right. So my dud was from last night with the Sunday night baseball game where the Angels were facing the Astros, and the Angels fans are booing an Astros pitcher for walking Otani. I think it was in the bottom of the seventh or eighth. It was late in the game, and Otani was. People were wanting to watch Otani hit a ball rather than get walked. And later on in the game, he actually did hit a homer, like in the bottom of the ninth when they were trying to come back.
Yeah, rally back.
But yeah, fans booing the Astros, not only for whatever they did in 2017, but just in general, like for walking Otani, because that's no fun. Like, get on with it. Anyways,
But I mean, Otani's the league leader in home runs. They walked him in the sense of, okay, it was just like what they did to Barry Bonds back in 2001, where they would walk him every time. Because if you pitch to him, he's going to hit this ball, and this ball is not coming back. Unless you're in Wrigley Field, and unless you're in Wrigley Field playing in Cubs. And that would be because the Cubs fan has decided to throw it back on the stadium. But I digress. My dud, my theming for duds is big sport fails. The Citi Field grounds crew is my honorable mention this week, as their grounds crew was caused a delay by being unable to catch a pigeon. But the real dud this week. Okay. So there's this. So remember this whole situation that in the Summer League where they completely had action stop because a player from the Mavericks allegedly went the wrong way and dunked on what looked like the opponent's basket? I think it was like last week.
seems
Remember
legit.
that particular play?
No. But
Okay.
I can
So
see it
you would
happening.
think that my dud here in this case would be to Marcus Bingham for going the wrong way and dunking on the opponent's basket in a summer league game. You would think that I'd be using that as a dud, right? Or so we thought. Bingham was actually going the right way. But the problem is that it wasn't the players and how they were playing the game that completely screwed up. Because the Mavericks inbounded the ball, got the ball to a player that they needed to, and he dunked it. The reason why it didn't count was because the referees messed up. A foul was charged to Dallas, and the refs allowed Dallas to accidentally inbound the ball following the foul committed by the Mavericks. And the Pacers should have gotten the ball, and that was the reason why everybody was standing going toward the other end of the floor. Was that the Pacers should have had the ball, and the out-of-bounds play should have been going the other way. But the referees didn't realize that Dallas was inbounding the ball. They ultimately stopped the game and got it corrected. But the moment lives in infamy because it looks like he's going the wrong way. But it turns out that the referee had the wrong team inbounding the ball. Yes, it's Summer League, even for the NBA refs. Go ahead and take us out, Ruckus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Ruckus and The Menace Sports Podcast. I am Ruckus.
And I'm Ruckus the Menace.
Thank you for listening to episode 63 of our awesome podcast. Make sure to leave a like. Also, if you haven't done so, subscribe already. Make sure to tell your friends about our podcast, and also give us some grief in the comments if we missed anything. And as always, just be awesome. Make sure to shout us out also on other platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, and other platforms. We're steadily growing on there too. But anyways, we'll see you later.
Deuces.